Hello, everybody, and welcome to Laura's Social Corner, where we share stories that inspire, empower, and connect us with our community. Today is my pleasure to have this wonderful lady, Bri Ramos. She has worn many hats, and I want to let her introduce herself because she is amazing.
Well, thank
you.
you.
So welcome.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for doing this because things like this are important for our community, and especially when you get to share women's stories, that's so special. So
that's right, because you have a lot. You like to empower women.
Sure.
Tell us how that inspire you to help other women to find themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like you said, my name's Bri, and I do wear many hats. I'm a mother. I am a business owner. I've had a small business for 12 years. And I, most importantly, am an advocate for women in several different ways. So, I think what's inspired me to do the different things that I'm involved in is knowing my identity and knowing what I'm called to in this life, knowing my strengths, knowing what I like to do and what I'm good at. And it's taken a long time to figure that out.
That's right. It's not easy. And also, you born and live in Las Vegas and moved to Oklahoma.
I did.
That probably is a big change for you.
It was huge. So I was 18. I was 18 coming to college at OU, and I was born and raised in Las Vegas. Our family has been there for over 100 years. We're one of the founding families of Las Vegas, which is just a small random fact. Yeah, my great-grandfather came over to work on the railroad and settled there. He came up from Mexico, and so we were honored a handful of years ago as one of the founding families of Las Vegas, which is really fun. That's like my party, tell us something no one knows about you.
And you have a history. It's wonderful that you can pass that to your kids.
Yeah, and so family. I thought I would come to college at OU and be here for 4 years and then move back to Vegas. And next year's 20 years, and we started our family here, and I love it. I love the city. I love Oklahoma, and I love being part of the community here.
You love Oklahoma the most?
I'll tell you. So I think I've got to see the city. I've got to see Oklahoma City, and I'll say like Norman, because that's where I was in college at, and then for a few years after, grow so much in the last 20 years now. And it is such an incredible place to be a small business owner because the city just rallies around you, and they're so supportive. The community here is amazing.
You're right. Oklahoma is very supportive.
They're very supportive, especially of local businesses. I mean, they really are, and it's been such an honor to be a part of it. And then because we're growing so fast, there is room for everybody. So when it comes to like competition for your business in Oklahoma, yes, maybe there's a little bit, but there's room for everyone here, and you have such an incredible opportunity to succeed as a business owner in Oklahoma City because of that. So I just love it here. It's a great place to raise a family. The cost of living is wonderful. Being involved in the community is easy, and we love it.
And you've been serving as a commissioner for many years now, too.
Yes, so for the past, I'm serving a 5-year term as a commissioner on the Oklahoma Commission on the Status of Women, and we are an arm of the legislature. So we spend our year researching, or really our whole term researching the different issues that women in our state are facing, and then we come to the legislators and give them recommendations on policy and things that can really move the needle for women in our state, and give our recommendations on that. So we've got to be part of some really wonderful legislation that has impacted the child care crisis in our state, and a lot of other things that we're working on within human trafficking and female incarceration. So
and these things that I think they have to see the woman point.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Right? Because it's different.
It sure is, especially in our state. Oklahoma ranks first in the things we don't want to rank first in. We rank last in the things that we shouldn't. And so there's a lot of room for improvement, but there's a lot of wonderful things happening to really make those things happen. And I'm grateful to be a part of it.
Yeah, we are grateful to have people like you.
Sure.
Because it's a lot of work they need to be done, and you are one of the kind of persons that like to get things done.
Yeah, absolutely, I do.
And I love that.
Thank you.
That takes a lot of courage.
Yeah.
So one of the topics that you're most passionate about is identity.
Yeah.
So tell me more about that and about what you do in that regard, because we were talking about a little bit about it.
Yeah.
And I get fascinated.
Yes. So really kind of like my passion and love for helping people discover their identity really was rooted in my early career when I learned how to brand a company. And branding at its core is discovering who you are, whether it's as an individual or, you know, for your personal brand or for your company. Who are you? What do you have to offer the world or the community or the industry that you're in? And then helping people get that message and identity out to the world is the marketing side of it. And so I did that for several years with business owners. And it really led to this love of helping, first it was young girls in my nonprofit days early out of college, of really helping them discover what their identity was. And it led to now as a mother and a business owner helping women really all over the world do that. And so about 10 years ago I launched women's retreats where we really dig into that, and we do the hard work of diving into who you are in every season of life, because you've got, it's like your identity can change very quickly from one season to another. Yeah, exactly. And so it's not like you do the work one time, like I want to go to college for XYZ. You know, it's like you don't make a decision once when it comes to your identity. You have to do it over and over and over through each transition, because if you don't, then you end up in this identity crisis that you weren't expecting. So that could look like, you know, you were married for 25 years and then you're not married anymore, or you spent, you know, 18 years raising a house full of children and then they go off to college and then you're an empty nester. You know, it could be, you know what it's like to run a business and to love it and to, you know, be a CEO or to be somebody who focuses 24/7 pretty much on growing a business.
And that's the only thing you know how to do.
And that's the only thing you know how to do. And then a baby comes and you're like, wait a second, I can't work around the clock and I can't take the meeting and I, you know, and some women are okay with that shift. They're like, oh, I don't want to work anymore. And then other women are like, oh, being a mom is really hard. And both are acceptable.
I think, can we also be, maybe wrong, that the woman say, okay, I can not work anymore, I want to be a mom. Mm-hmm. But there's nothing wrong with that. But it doesn't make you happy.
Sure.
Because you don't know it's going to be something that you're going to try.
It's hard because you've never done it before, and it's really hard to learn all those things. And especially on that specific topic of becoming a mother, kids have this superpower to just shine this light into your inner soul and show you all the best and worst parts of yourself. And you know, so that there is a huge identity shift that happens, you know, when you go from not having kids to having kids.
So have you personally gone through seasons where you have to rediscover yourself?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So I think a few of my big seasons where I've had to walk through that identity shift. One early on was coming to Oklahoma. It was a huge shift, obviously, going from being raised in Las Vegas to just learning the culture here. Like I remember one day I went to go get my nails done, I think like on a Saturday morning, and every street was shut down and I couldn't even get to the nail salon because it was a football game. And I was like there's such a beautiful culture in Norman. Yeah, there's such a beautiful culture of sports here. And growing up in Vegas, like we didn't have professional teams. We didn't have, now we do, but like growing up we didn't. And so really just that shift from learning a whole new part of the world, a whole new, you know, culture was one. And then once I started my business, I loved it. And for several years, I just ran as fast as I could, growing it and learning everything I could and turning it into a full service marketing agency. And making the shift from working to becoming a mother was really hard for me, really hard. Now I'm like, how long till I can retire? What, like, you know, but
how many more years?
Yeah, how many more years? But so that was a big shift for me, was going from working to,
you know, some practical steps someone can take when they feel disconnected from themselves right now.
Yeah, that's a great question. So people are like, how do you discover your identity?
Yeah.
Like, how do you even do that, you know? And
what does that mean?
What does that even mean? Yeah. So, and this is what we lead women through on our retreats. And I really need to like bundle up the curriculum and figure out a way that women can do this on their own, not in like a retreat setting, because it is really powerful work. But it's doing the hard work of really looking inside, looking at the season of life you're in, looking at the season of life you just came out of.
How we can find these retreats? How we
so if
how
you
that
keep
work?
Yeah, if you keep up with me on Instagram, I'll always post the different things that I'm involved in or doing, and so you know you can keep up with me there, and that'll give you a good place to find the different things that I'm a part of, or if you want to engage with that different kind of stuff. But it's a lot of assessments, it's a lot of tears, it's a lot of writing things and burning them in the fire and letting things go. It's a lot of really just doing that hard inner work.
Where do you go with this?
Okay, so we have been to Tulum. We've been to Sundance, Utah. We've done it here in Oklahoma on Fraser Ranch on the eastern side of the state. We've done
and how many
30A in Florida. We've done it all over, yeah.
Well, how many women they normally?
Yeah, we keep it small, and we keep it small intentionally. So we try not to have more than 15 women at a time. We get a huge house, and we all stay together, and we do everything for them. Like moms wear, and it's not all moms, but it's for the woman that's very involved, who's wearing all the hats. She may have kids, she may not, but she's involved in her community, or maybe running a business, or high up in her law firm, whatever it may be. And I'm going to say women, they need time to like step away and take 5 minutes for themselves, because we often, it's just kind of our nature to jump in and nurture everybody else, and we've got to step aside and take that time to spend time on ourselves. And for some, that's like one vacation once a year where they get to do like a retreat like this. Mm-hmm. For others, it's maybe you love gardening and you do it weekly, but it's so important to find something that you love, and it's only for you, because we give and we give and we give, and then you get depleted, and you've got to be able to fill yourself back up. So and
it would be a point in your life that you get tired to give.
Sure. Yeah,
right?
Yeah, right. If you get burnt out, then
right, and then find the right, not to get tired, but the right way to be normal, I guess.
Sure.
I don't know how to put it,
to make the shift and
make the shift and make sure you still the person you are and the values that you have, and not mess it up your rest of the future.
Well, and I think too, like as we grow as women and as we age and as we have different life experiences, not that those values necessarily change, but our worldview does. The more experiences we have, the more aware we can be of other perspectives. And it's okay to go, you know what, I don't know if I believe that anymore. I don't know if I stand for that anymore. I feel this way now, and this is what shifted my perspective. And a lot of women struggle with letting go of who they were to accept who they're becoming, or the woman that they want to be. And sometimes that's a hard decision of maybe getting a divorce, or maybe getting a different job, or starting the side hustle that you've wanted to start for years. Like, it's normally a hard shift for a lot of women, and I want to make that easier. I want to give them the resources to like help them walk through those different identity shifts. Yeah,
it's like you mentioned that it's like the teenage years, and then we grow, and then what is the other? What is the rest?
Yeah,
after 40,
and
after 50,
I'm not the same woman, and I'm not the same mother I was.
It's not the same body neither.
7-8 years ago, and so you just have to be aware, and you have to take that time to really steward yourself and your soul, and continue to grow as you change in these different seasons of life. So
100% very interesting, because we are, as a woman, we don't talk about this. We don't. We just deal with.
We don't have time to talk about it. We don't have time to talk about it.
But that's so sad, right?
That's a problem.
It's the problem. We don't have time. We have the family. We have to run.
Yeah.
But then when you realize it, that is when many of the women get in depression. They get so sad, and
of course,
and everything go
just south. I know. And then it's like, okay, we got to dig you back out of this huge hole.
And that's
and it's
like,
let's keep you out of the hole in the first place.
What you would tell these women that maybe they're in this situation, or how they can deal with the struggle, what they can do?
Like I say, the juggle is real.
Yeah,
with all our different hats that we wear. I would say, one,
cries one a week because it's like I have to cry at least once a week.
Cry if you need to cry. Seriously, let it out. Just cry.
No, but how they can really deal with that problem?
Sure. I would say so if you're in a season where you're like, oh, I feel like I'm in this identity shift or crisis. I feel like I'm having an identity crisis of who I was and who I'm becoming.
Every woman go through that.
They do.
Yeah.
And it's healthy. It's healthy.
It's normal.
It's totally normal. And it's something that should be talked about. And it's something that should, be normalized to say it's okay to evolve into different versions of yourself, for yourself, for your family, for your spouse, or for your parents, whoever it may be, your children. Like, it's okay to evolve as a woman and to have different opinions and to have just different wants as you get older in life, I feel like some women, when they shift from one thing to another, whether that's a career or whatever it may be, whatever the big life change is, there's this like holding on to dear life of who you were and not putting both hands on the person that you are becoming, or who you are, or who you have become. So women usually run very, very fast, and I would just encourage them to pause and do the hard inner work. If you don't know how to do that hard inner work, find a therapist, find a community of women that you trust, get new friends or a mentor that can help walk you through these things. And don't do it alone. Don't try and do it alone, that's for sure. I would say community is probably the most important part of really kind of diving into your new identity, whatever that may be, so that you have people around you that can remind you who you are and support you in that. So don't try and do it alone. And it's like what we lead our women through are, several like different questionnaires and activities, but get back to the good old assessments. Take your Enneagram, take your Strength Finders test, take your spiritual gifts test, if that's what you believe in. Like, all of those things will tell you how you are naturally wired and why you do the things that you do. Like, I'm a big assessment fan. Your love language, your child's love language. Like, knowing those different things can really bring a lot of understanding to who you are.
Right, because it's very, I think there's many women that didn't even know that exists.
Sure, you're right. I don't think they do. And I'll send you a list of these different assessments that I really like, that I think are really helpful, and you can, share that in our episode notes or whatever it is, so people have access to it. Yeah.
Because it's very important for them, mental health.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So when they go these trips, you help with tickets, with stay.
Okay. So one thing I love about the retreats is because women just do so much for everybody else, and they're normally the organizer and the trip planner and the backpacker and just all the things, right? You've done it. You've packed many a bags and planned many a trips over the years, I'm sure. Transportation and just all the little things. We take care of all of that. Like, you sign up to come, and we tell you when to show up, and we have everything else. So we have a chef that cooks every meal. We have transportation to and from the airport figured out. We've got everything handled so that they can just show up and do nothing, which is really, really nice. So
because you don't have kids and you don't
have exactly exactly
husbands. And that is fun. And normally, how long these trips last?
Oh, they're like 5 days or so. It depends on how far we travel. Tulum was a little longer because the trip was a little bit, the commute was longer.
So you wake up?
Every day we do. Yeah, Tulum was centered around yoga. We had a yoga. I partnered with a wonderful yoga instructor. The other ones have been more centered around our curriculum and different things like that. But yeah, every day we have a schedule, and we have the different things. We usually wake up doing something around mindfulness and somatic breathing, and really just centering ourselves to start the day. And then we have like structured curriculum or activities throughout the day that we do. But then we really carve out a lot of time for play. Just play, whatever you want that to be. You want to lay on the beach, go lay on the beach. You want to read a book, great. You want to go on an adventure, like if you want to go scuba diving or whatever, we'll help you book that. Like whatever women don't play enough, and that's so crucial just to how humans are wired to just do something that you enjoy or to try something new, right?
Yeah.
And you don't really do that when you're at home. And
no,
so,
you know, and that affects everything.
Yeah.
Because they, everything in your marriage and your relationship and your life.
And really, like, I think one of the reasons I'm so passionate about this and have spent so many years developing information and resources around it, because we cannot show up how we need to show up if our cup is empty. You have to refill your cup. You have to be aware of who you are in that season of life and what you can commit to and what you can't commit to. You know, like right now, I'm saying a lot of no's on my professional side so that I can say yes.
To say, yes.
Yeah, so I can say yes to some activities with my kids, you know. And so if you're not aware of like where your priority is for the season, then you start to get a little bit out of control with saying yes to too many things, or
and these people maybe like you, because you have the experience, they can realize, okay, this is, you can help this way. But it's going to be another woman, they cannot handle it, and they get in depression, they get in a lot of problems because they don't know how to handle the stuff.
When it comes to mental health, especially around women, and even around the topic of menopause, like those two things are such a huge part of our later life, and they're not talked about enough. And if you don't have an understanding of your body and how changes work and happen that really affect your mental health, then you can get into a spot that's not good. And I feel like we come from the generation above us was very, you don't talk about your business, you don't talk about your problems, your family or marriage things are things you keep inside. And, you know, there was a lot of hush hush with our parents. And now we're more part of a culture where we can talk a little bit more openly and build more community around the things that we struggle with. And so I do appreciate that about our generation.
It's, you know how we overcome being a people pleaser, right? And learn how to stand firm in our convictions.
Yeah.
How you do that?
It's taken me 37 years to have a backbone. Like, I think, you know, like, people pleasing is really hard to break out of.
I think so. And I agree with you 100%.
And it is, I think 90% of the time, very well-intentioned to be like, well, I just didn't want to make anyone mad, and I wanted to make sure this group was taken care of, and like this group was taken care of, and you know, I just and it takes making some hard decisions and pissing some people off to go, okay, this is what I want, this is what I stand for, this is what I believe in. And when you get away from that people-pleasing just struggle, and I'll call it a struggle because I really think it is. It really is. And a lot of times I think that looks like just avoiding conflict. It's just like, okay, well, I'm just going to leave it alone. I'm just not going to get involved. I'm just going to, you know, step back and not deal with it, essentially, because I don't want to make anyone mad. That becomes a problem because then the things are never dealt with, or then they explode and they're not dealt with in the correct way. And so it's taken a lot of making tough decisions and being a part of different things like the commission, where you're sitting with 29 other women that some agree with you and some don't, and you got to be firm in what you stand on, you know, and make some hard decisions, and all the way to being involved in, you know, my daughter's second grade class. You know, it's like some people want certain things and other parents want other things, and it's like, okay, well, how do we make everybody happy and not piss anybody off, and how do we make sure all the girls are still okay? And, you know, and so it just takes really, it's taken some hard decisions to, and being okay that not everyone's going to like you, whether they know the truth or not, you know?
That's the other thing.
That's the thing you got to let go.
You got to let go. I think you learn that with the years, when you're growing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like some people, they take us sometimes too long to realize that. And I think we're learning, early you're learning is probably easier.
Sure.
But how we can make that happen.
Yeah.
How we can break the habit.
I know, and I think that's goes back to really diving into your identity and knowing who you are and being okay with, like, okay, this group of people may not like me or my decisions, but I know that I believe in them and that they're the right thing to do.
Do you think now the parents now are a little more modern? There are parents maybe, and they can guide us, the kids, better, or women?
Yes, I do. Well, you know
we
what?
need to start training the moms.
Well, yes, always.
To tell their daughters what to do.
You know, I think, I mean, my mother did an absolutely wonderful job. Did it different than I did, but did an absolutely wonderful job.
Yes,
you know,
where they know.
Yes, so
at that time, this was.
Yeah, I think it's not necessarily that other generations did it wrong, or they just did it differently, and now we approach it differently because we have a completely different set of things to deal with.
Yes, it's different.
Social media, it's just a completely different world, you know?
Yes.
And so the way that we mother and raise our sons and daughters is just a little bit different now, you know?
Yes, and it would take, to make a strong woman like you, you go through a process.
Sure, yeah.
And we have to find out what is the process for each one.
I think that's really hard about being a mother too, is like, you got to let your kid figure it out, but you immediately want to just like try and make decisions for them and like, well, this is what's best for them, or, you know, and sometimes you just got to like let them learn.
And you know what is that?
That's hard.
You're 100% right, because I heard moms, even in this era,
sure,
they trying to do everything for their kids. You know, it's like they grab it from the hand,
sure,
take it to college, and go, that's not healthy.
I know.
You know,
but you know, and I see like,
or maybe it's healthy.
Well, yeah, but I think, you know,
both ways.
This also goes back to like really healing that inner child, and like maybe they're overcompensating for something they didn't have. You know, like maybe their mom didn't, you know, take their hand and walk them to college, and so they want to provide that relationship in life for their child. But it's a balance of like, yeah, how do we let them figure it out, but how do we make sure that they're making good decisions? And you know, it's a lot, it's hard.
Is you looking back, what you will tell the younger Bri, who was just starting her journey?
So I, this one, I keep a picture of myself at, I think I'm like 4 years old in it, and I have it framed, and it's where I get ready every day. And probably maybe a year and a half ago, I like saw that picture and I was like, would I be the woman, am I the woman that I would want that little girl to run to feel safe? And so it's a reminder every day that I want to become the woman that my younger self would, you know, come and save her, or make her feel safe, or that my daughter would feel safe running to, you know, whatever that may look like. And so I think like when I looked at that like inner child and was like, closed my eyes and visualized her and pictured her, it like still gets me a little bit teary-eyed like thinking about it. Like that's hard. It's hard to go and unlock those, you know, those places from a long time ago, and to, you know, heal we've all had trauma in one way or another, whether you realize it or not, whether it was the same as someone else's trauma or not, but it affects how you parent. It affects how, you know, the type of wife you are.
It made me cry.
You know, and it does, it really does. And so, and that, you know, goes back to figuring out who we are, who we want to be, and doing the hard work to get there, you know.
Right, because you 100%, we all go through a lot of stuff.
Sure.
And when you see the picture of when you're little, and say, how I can avoid that my kids don't go through that stuff.
Of course.
You know, but they have to live their own life too, and we're not responsible. We're responsible, but not responsible who they're going to be at the end.
Absolutely.
It's just
and being okay with it. Yeah.
And be okay and support it.
Yeah.
Be there for them. No judge, I think.
You know, and I think too, like if you are co-parenting, whether you're together or not with your children's, you know, father or mother, like what we have done really well is we we're on the same page, but we parent very differently because we serve two very different roles. So right. I am a nurturer. My babies want to fall asleep with me every night. When they cry, I'm who they come to. When, like, I am like the soft nurturer, and that's how I parent them. My husband is very disciplined in very good ways, and he's the one that there's nothing wrong with it. But they listen to him, but he's the one that like goes outside with them and plays in rough houses, and they jump all over him, and he is able to say something once and they do it, because he is so structured and so disciplined, they feel very safe with him. Because of that, they know they're going to get the exact same response every single time. As to me, because I'm so like, it's okay, come here, whatever, like I feel like they think they can be a little more lenient, or I'm a little more lenient with them, and they know that they can like do that with me. But both are needed. I don't think either is wrong, and I think both are needed. And we've learned to balance parenting a little bit different, but in both ways that our children need.
That makes completely a lot of sense. And like in my case, I'm the one more like
more strict and disciplined.
Yes, as I say, you just one, and the second is going to be trouble.
I wish.
And my husband is more like, but it's sometimes it's wrong too, because I have the masculine inside, and I want to be a little more feminine. Yeah, and then I say it's not working out, and it's not working even in relationships or nothing. It's just wrong. Yeah. Because I'm trying to be in control.
Yes. I had a mom recently said the exact same thing to me. She was like, I'm the one that's, whatever. And she's like, sometimes I just wish my husband would be like that, because like he's not, and I play that role, and like I'm exhausted and I don't want to do it anymore, and whatever.
And then you have to do both roles, because you need to be the mom too. Yes. And when they cook, when they do all the stuff. Yeah. And then you're exhausted.
I know. I know.
It's very complicated. Yeah. It's very. Is you could leave one lesson for the women that are watching now, or you will like to tell them?
I would say it's okay to change and grow and develop into different versions of yourself. And don't feel like you have to hold on to one version of yourself for too long if you're entering a new season in life. Do the hard work and really dig into where you're at in life and the things that you love and the things that you believe in, and let go of the things in your life that just don't serve you anymore and kind of keep you tied to that old identity. Not that it's a bad thing, not that the old identity is a bad thing, but then you end up in this like gray area of being like, who am I?
More focused on
if you're really holding on to just, the different versions of yourself from the past.
Is any book that you'd really recommend that every woman?
Great question.
One that we should have read no matter what.
The one I've been writing for years that I haven't finished. That one.
That would be a wonderful book. I really can no way.
Okay, good. Okay, that gives me
we're gonna wait for Bri in her book.
I would say, I don't know, I'll have to think on that one.
Yeah, because
I have I've got hundreds of books. I'm such a lifelong reader. But right now I'm just drawing a blank on that. Yeah. But I'll share some resources when I send over some of the other resources.
Yeah, that'll be wonderful. But because it's wonderful to have a person like you here and tell us the real Bri. Because behind every successful woman like you, it takes a while. It takes courage.
Sure.
You have been through many transformations, like a little Olga, and look at you, so pretty and a wonderful mom, and still trying to help women. Giving back to the community is very important. When I say this community, you do it with other women.
Yeah, absolutely.
And those women are going to affect the other women.
Because the women also affect the sons and the brothers and the husbands so without a doubt, I feel like I'm called to serve women and help them dive into this part of their life. But it really is an impact for everybody.
That's right. It's an impact in people like you is that what we need more in our community. Be very honest and let it be.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know
absolutely.
who we are.
I have a question for you. Can I ask you a question?
Oh, sure.
Okay, I want to. You are so wise, and you've had so many of these conversations. I want to hear just some, like, what tips have other guests given, or books, or some of your own? Like, what would your advice be?
That's a good question. My advice, I always been a strong woman, and life is not easy for nobody, but always trying to find the best to make for me as a woman, feel better with myself. I like to look myself in the mirror and see, okay, this is the woman that is going to help, who are going to help today, what I want to do today, something good. And I've been doing that for a few years, and it really changed my life.
That's really amazing. I
love
that.
It's been changing my life for a little bit, because when you see yourself in the mirror, it's who you are, who you're going to help, really. And if you cannot help anybody, you cannot help the person you help. You see it in the mirror.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. One thing that goes back to your question just about, like, how do women do this? Like, how do you discover your identity? I always like to start with the end in mind. So when you think about your life,
that's right.
I used to teach this lesson to middle school students in a leadership class. It was called Your Life Sentence. And at the end of your life, you get a couple sentences. Someone will stand, you know, at the pulpit or whatever it is, and say, you know, Brianna was a wonderful wife and mother and led in her community, and she accomplished great things, and she'll be missed. That's all you get. Like, you get basically just a few words about this whole life that you've lived, and what do you want that to be? How do you want people to remember you? And that could be at the end of your life, or that could be at the end of, you know, the grade that you're in, or at the end of the you know, event that you're at. Like, starting with the end in mind and going, okay, this is what I want my legacy to be. I want to be like part of mine is, I want to be a really cool grandma. Like, I want my grandkids to go, wow, look at what grandma did, or look at the impact that she had. And so I think of generations down the line in my family when it comes to the legacy that I want to live. And that helps guide my decisions. That helps guide, you know, the things that I'm involved in. So I think that's a good place to start, is really starting with the end in mind.
You have a very clear mind where you're going to go. And I cannot wait for your book.
Oh, thank you so much.
That would be an amazing book that I cannot wait to read it. So it's a pleasure to having you here.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for opening your heart. And open the minds of many women that I hope they're watching this show. And especially me. So I'm so proud to be your friend, and for what you do. So let's go and keep working together to make women more stronger. And trying to find ourselves.
Let's do it. Love it.
Okay, let's do it.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. Follow us and share this episode. Very interesting. See you soon.